I welcome you all to another video. Let's make this beautiful birthday cake together. So the first thing you're going to do is to measure out all your ingredients and set them aside so that you won't forget anyone that will be close to you. So I'm using 4 cups of all-purpose flour and half tablespoon of baking powder. So you just mix that aside and a tiny bit of salt. So these are the ingredients: the sugar. I'm using 8 eggs, Hollandia evaporated milk. The flavor in the cake is excellent. Then cocoa powder. Then this red food coloring. Use a very good brand. The name has cleaned off though, so I use that. Then my flavor, I'm using industrial milk flavor and vanilla flavor. And then my Simas butter. So I'm measuring out 1 cup of sugar and 1/3 cup. And I'm using 2 Simas butter, 2 Simas margarine rather. So just put that in your clean bowl and then you start to whip. You start to mix it up together. If you don't have this hand mixer or the stand mixer, you can as well use your turning stick and just mix it using one direction to mix as much as possible. Mix until it's light, it's double in size, and the color is no longer as deep yellow as before. Or you can as well just take a tiny bit and drop in water and you see that it floats on the water. Then it's ready. You're ready to proceed to the next step. This should take about 10 minutes if you're using this hand mixer, and probably 15 minutes if you're using your hand, or 20 minutes. Just not so long a time though, so just do it until you achieve your desired result. So this is it, all whipped up well. Scrape the sides and continue mixing as you go along, please, so you incorporate it very well. So it's time to add in the eggs, little at a time. You already know when you are breaking your eggs, break it first in a little bowl and transfer it into a bigger bowl, just to avoid stories that touch. If you have a bad egg, you can easily eliminate it, not to spoil your entire recipe. So you just add a little at a time and then you mix. While you're adding a little at a time is for it to incorporate properly and to also aid in the mixing. So I just added in the flavors, half half teaspoon each of the flavors. So it's time to separate the ingredients and then get the red velvet from the entire batch. So we're using one dough to, before that, we're going to add in our flour gradually. And then you're no longer using your mixer at this point, you're using your spatula or your turning stick if that's what you use to mix, so you don't over mix the cake batter. So at this point we are adding in our milk. So this is already 250 ml, which is 1 cup. So I didn't bother measuring it anymore, so I just added it in gradually and mix. So you give that a good mix. Make sure it's fully incorporated. So at this point, I'm separating the dough. So to the red velvet, I'm adding half tablespoon of vinegar, white vinegar, and half teaspoon of baking soda, and then quarter teaspoon of red food coloring. So you mix this up properly, and then I added in a bit of the cocoa powder. I'm going to list the exact ingredients and measurements in the description box or in the pinned comment. So mix that up properly until it's fully incorporated, and here you have it. So I just added in a little bit of flour, let's say about 1 tablespoon, and then it's time to pour it into our pan. You know your pan at this point is already prepped your pans by rubbing in margarine and dusting your flour in it. So you just add in your batter, and then you heat it up for it to remove any air pockets and for it to be leveled and even. So to the vanilla own or the plain one, we just do the same thing. And then I'm pouring water into this oven tray and I'm putting it underneath the rack for the baking. So this is how to on your gas if you're using the gas oven. So you turn your gas button to the left. As you're turning, your light is already in your hand, and then you just light it up, and that's all. So you're putting, you can see the layering of the baking rack, and this is what we have after 30 minutes of baking. Also remember to bake on low flame, not the highest, please, low flame. So this is what we have, very smooth, very soft, very yummy, very clean, and very everything nice that you want to say. So from one day you just whip up you have your red velvet also and everything. So that's it. Let them just cool down. So I baked this in the evening and I just let it cool down till the next morning. So the next morning I'm just going to whip up my buttercream icing. So you whip up the margarine first until it's a little bit pale, and then you introduce the icing sugar. So if you've enjoyed this video to this extent, if you've learned something, just please endeavor to click the like button, share with your friends and anyone you think will be in need of this video. This is a thorough and comprehensive video from start to finish on how you can bake and decorate your cake at home. So after you've whipped up your butter or margarine, just add in your icing sugar. You know you are going to also save your icing sugar at this point. Add it in gradually until you exhaust everything, and just 1 tablespoon of milk just to smoothen everything out and make it creamy. And this is what we have, and it's going to be enough to cover that quantity of cake. So I just added in a little bit of the industrial milk flavor, and then these tiny drops of blue color. So we're using blue food coloring to color our cake, and this is you can see the color changing to a very beautiful sky blue, very beautiful shade of blue. Like, I love this shade of blue so well. So you can just add to the extent that you prefer your color to come out. Any other color you want to use, if it's pink, if it's green, whatever color you want to use, just add it little by little. If you add little and you don't like the color, you can add more. So it's time to cover our cake. I already stacked the cake, and I didn't much about the edges because they were even all through. I don't know if I have the video of how I scraped and set the cake. Maybe I'll post it in another video, or if you want, Let me know. But I just think this is basic. Just stack your cake and put a skewer in the middle so it doesn't shift. So any difference, the difference in the cake sizes were not much. So there was no point even scraping at all. Just use your butter icing to cover it up. And just use your knife and paste your butter icing on top of the cake and all around the cake, just as you see me do. So there's not much explanation on this part. Just watch the video and observe how I did it, and you give this a try also. Try it once. If you don't get it, don't give up. Just try again until you get it. Now it's time to smoothen it out. So you just use your smoothener and gently turn it around, just as you see me do. So you won't apply too much pressure on it at this point. You just gradually smoothen it out. So let me just put this out there that your butter icing don't have any business in the freezer. So it was one mistake I almost made, but I've realized it and I'm never going to make that mistake ever again. So don't put your your baked cake in the freezer if you know you're going to be using buttercream. So you make sure all the parts of the cake are well covered, and then you go again and smoothen it out. Just continue this process until you've achieved the smoothness you want. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to just be okay. So as you do it gradually, you get perfect as you continue. So you smoothing the top also. So this is what we have at this stage. You can see how smooth it is and how beautiful the cake turned out. So just to ensure the edges are smooth, you just use your knife and push it in gradually. And this is what we have. So to the down part, to remove the excess and make it very neat, you just take a little bit of wipes, sorry, a little bit of serviette and just clean around the edge at the bottom of the cake. So it's time to place our stickers. So these stickers, you can just go to a computer center and tell them to print out cake toppers for you. They are so inexpensive to print out, and then you just stick the big one. I sticked skewer at the back with a tiny bit of this transparent cell tape. For the tinier ones, I used toothpicks, which just does the work perfectly. And then you just use your creativity and arrange them how you want them to be. So this is what I did. But the one on top has to align with the one down, like the Jaden at 6 has to align with the happy birthday. Let them be on the same level. I think this cartoon is Blaze and the Monster Machine or something like that. So it's so beautiful for boys. So you can make your children's birthday cake at home. Yes. So I have these sprinkles that just blend well, exact color as the cake, and I just decided to play around with it. So you can leave it how it was before, and you can also do this. Thank you all so much for watching this video to this extent, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like, comment. You can see the back, it's beautiful also. This is the outcome of our cake, and I'll see you next time. Bye.